This is Stacy Flippen, and this is Market Movers. I have been in real estate for 13 years, and it's my third career. And I taught school and owned my own business for 13 years. And I sell single family homes in the Homewood, Vestavia, Mountain Brook, Crestwood, Hoover area. Can go anywhere though. So that is my real estate background. My approach to helping buyers and sellers reach their real estate goals is really personalized service, really try to be a clear communicator, and expert guidance throughout the real entire process is pretty key. Listening is huge. Like, you've got to listen to your people as to what they want, where they want to go. And I personally always look at resale value. What is it going to do? What's this house going to do in a year if they have to turn around and sell it? So don't just get fixated on the beauty of what it looks like right now, but we've got to really look at what happens if they have to pick up and move tomorrow. So I think that really is my key approach to it. So representing a buyer and representing a seller are going to be two totally different approaches. I still do try to keep them personalized. A buyer is going to take a lot more hand holding, a lot more communicating up front as to, what's your timeline? What, of course, that's for listing too. There's a lot more hand holding for the buyer side. The listing side is probably more so making sure we get that house under contract for them to move forward on their next adventure. I would say they're pretty much the same. I mean, you're still having to stay in communication a lot. Communication is so big in this industry. It's really key to a successful, smooth transaction. It really builds trust, I think, when you communicate upfront early on, really understand what they're wanting, and help address any issues quickly as they arise. Like, a lot of people like to put off. If there's some issues, they don't want to tell them right away. But I've always seen, like, go ahead and get it taken care of the minute something arises. I'm real clear with my clients up front what I expect and what, and then I ask them, what do you expect of me? Like, it's just a teamwork. I'm very consistent. I think that comes from my teaching background. So I always have my phone on no matter where I am. But I feel like that helps them know that I'm still there for them. And I'm very personalized. Each transaction is so different, and you've got to personalize that to each client. Each client has a different need, different wants. And so, that's got to be communicated up front with them. And so just trying to pull all of that information out at the very beginning is what I try to do. I try to tell my clients to, when they go into homes, to look at what pulls out of that home that they can maybe relate to the seller in, like, what, find something that you can relate if you love this house, and write a personalized note or do something special for the seller to show them that they are different than anybody else. I try to be unique in delivering that contract. I have recently seen that if I deliver the contract in person to the sellers, to try to give them the story, if they have a story that's special, and why these people really want their house. And that, I think sometimes you just have to think outside the box to make a successful transaction. So I listen to a lot of podcasts on, what's going on in the nation, but Birmingham, Alabama is so different than what's going on elsewhere. So I try to focus in on what we're doing here, but yet when you do look at what the nation's doing, it's going to slowly trend to here. So I watch Inman. I go to their conventions in New York, and they've got some in Las Vegas. Keeping Current Matters is a really good one that comes out with great slides that will, visual things for your clients to see. So I can tend to send them those things to show them what the market's doing. I am on the leadership team at ARC, and so they do keep me really up to date each week. My marketing strategy is really you've got to keep up on the current market conditions, the property prices around, and really the trends in your area. and like marketing strategy for selling and listing a house, I guess. Take your personalized items out, make any repairs, and stage the house. I'm a big believer in staging. People get, wowed when they walk into something fabulous. And then I have a professional photographer that will take, great photos of the house along with a video with a drone that will kind of show, the shopping center, the grocery store, the elementary school is just right here. So I kind of, I do that a lot. The other thing that I do, and we've been seeing that a lot here in Birmingham, is we're really consider pricing the house slightly under market value. That attracts more interest and potentially incite a bidding war. So that's hard sometimes for sellers to be like, my house is worth more than that. But we've really got to explain to them why that's important to do it that way. And, that's kind of what I do for strategizing to get your house on the market. Determining the listing price involves really a combination of analyzing a lot of data, understanding your market, and some strategic, I'd say, decision making. You've got to use a CMA, which is like that's what I used. You don't have to, but a comprehensive marketing analysis where you drop that house in and it will generate within that type of house houses that have sold around it. So I really study that once I get that dropped in there. I do it a little bit differently than others. I look at each house that they pull and then I make sure that it compares to me appropriately. So I may take some out and I may add some that I know of, but that kind of sets a price that I'll take back and show my seller. And then I will say, let's say it's 450. I'll say, let's just drop it down a hair, just again to attract buyers and maximize the property's sale potential. And they tend to see that. So that's kind of what I do. I surround myself with good people, which is, I think, really important. If I am, representing the seller, I really like to look to see who that lender is and if they're strong buyers, so that we don't get to the end of the day and they're not capable of purchasing the house. So I really look at that. I look at who's the closing attorney, because that too shows if this is going to be an easy transaction. And so I do tend to, have those important people around me. The title company, the attorneys, the lenders are all those people in the background that can make for a very smooth closing. And if you don't have that, it can be a little turmoil. So, of course, communication all the way through. Handling negotiations, both with buyers and sellers, is real critical to a lot, to all these transactions. And I would say, again, communication, I can't, but that and strategic thinking, like you've got to listen to understand what your clients are wanting, and you got to pay close attention to their concerns and their motivations on both sides. That can provide like great insight. Communicate your points clearly and concisely, and just, I would say, stay calm, stay patient, and maintain a calm demeanor is very key to this, and don't let your emotions get involved. But at the end of the day, as agents, we've got to, push for what we believe in, but do it kindly with a smile. I always say, I may be smiling, but I'm really not smiling inside, right? Like I'm gonna I'm gonna get in there, but we still have to remain friends. And it is a business transaction, but you got to push for it. It is a win-win situation. Like everybody wants to win, so you've got to kind of make people feel like they're gonna win when not everybody's gonna win, but you gotta make them feel good.